Sienna God, hello all this afternoon, good afternoon, and why thank you for watching. So this is really day 6, part A of reading Many Lives, Many Masters, a timeless classic, the true story of a prominent psychiatrist, his young patient, and the past life therapy that changed both their lives by Brian L. Weiss, MD. I've never started with a personal story before. And so when I was looking at the time, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna make it over 3 minutes, right? I need to go ahead and end it. Normally, if I flub up a video, I will remake it, but I'm going to tell you, I don't think I can say all of that again. And I don't feel like writing any of the points down or anything because I wanted it to be like real and raw for you. Anyway, silly, I know. But this is really where I'm going to read the book to you. Jeepers. Alrighty, daddy. We're into chapter 10 now. I hope you're enjoying it because, my God. I'm reading it to our son, and he is like just sitting there, just like listening. Ooh, I wonder what happens next and stuff. Anyway, and today we had an appointment at the VA to get my mammogram, and on the way there, because it's like half-hour drive, 45 minutes, something like that. My husband was reading to him because I had, since I've been reading to y'all, I've been forgetting to read the same book to him. And I'm like, dang it. So he read multiple pages because I read 5 pages at a time. So he read like 15 pages to him. And every time I'd glance back in the rearview mirror, he's like sitting forward in his chair. And I'm like, buddy, can you hear him okay? You know, because of the road noise and everything. We have a lifted truck and stuff. And he's like, yeah, I can. But he was like tuned in. It's just really cool. The week passed quickly. I had listened over and over again to the tape of last week's session. How was I approaching the state of renewal? I did not feel particularly enlightened, and now spirits would be sent back to help me. But what was I supposed to do? When would I find out? Would I be up to the task? I knew I must wait and be patient. I remember the words of the poet master. Patience and timing. Everything comes when it must come. Everything will be clear to you in time. But you must have a chance to digest the knowledge that we have given to you already. So I would wait. At the beginning of the session, Catherine related a fragment of a dream she had had several nights ago. In the dream, she was living in her parents' house, and a fire had broken out during the night. She was in control, helping to evacuate the house, but her father was dawdling and seemingly indifferent to the urgency of the situation. She rushed him outside. Then he remembered something he had left in the house, and he sent Catherine back into the raging fire to retrieve the object. She could not remember what it was. I decided not to interpret the dream yet, but to wait and see if the opportunity would arise while she was hypnotized. She quickly entered a deep hypnotic trance. I see a woman with a hood over her head, not covering her face, just on her hair. Then she was silent. Can you see that now, the hood? I lost it. I see some type of black material, brocade material with a gold design on it. I see a building with some type of structural points on it, white. Do you recognize the building? No. Is it a large building? No. There's a mountain in the background with some snow on top of it, but the grass is green in the valley in the valley where we're at. Are you able to go into the building? Yes. It's made of some type of marble, very cold to the touch. Is it some sort of temple or religious building? I don't know. I thought it might be a prison. Prison? I repeated. Are there people in the building around it? Yes, some soldiers. They have black uniforms, black with gold shoulder pads, gold tassels hanging off. Black helmets with some type of gold, something pointed and gold on the top of the helmet, and a red sash around the waist. Are there any soldiers around you? Maybe 2 or 3. Are you there? I'm somewhere, but I'm not in the building, but I'm nearby. Look around, see if you can find yourself. The mountains are there, and the grass, and the white building. Are there other buildings too? If there are other buildings, they're not situated near this one. I see one isolated with some type of wall built behind it. A wall. Do you think it's a fort or a prison or something like that? It might be, but it's very isolated. Why is that important to you? Long pause. Do you know the name of the town or country where you are? Where the soldiers are, excuse me. I keep seeing Ukraine. Ukraine? I repeated, fascinated by the diversity of her lifetimes. Do you see a year? Does that come to you, or a period of time? 1717, she answered hesitatingly, then corrected herself. 1758. 1758. There are many soldiers. I don't know what their purpose is, with long swords that curve. What else do you see or hear? I inquired. I see a fountain where they water the horses. Do the soldiers ride horses? Yes. Are the soldiers known by any other name? Do they call themselves anything special? She listened. I don't hear that. Are you among them? No. Her answers were again a child's, short and often monosyllabic. Yeah. I had to be a very active interviewer. Excuse me, but you're seeing them nearby? Yes. Are you in the town? Yes. Do you live there? I believe so. Good. See if you can find yourself and where you live. I see some very ragged clothes. I see just a child, a boy. His clothes are ragged. He's cold. Does he have a home in the town? There was a long pause. I don't see that. She continues. She seemed to be having some difficulty connecting with this lifetime. She was somewhat vague in her answers, somehow unsure. Okay, do you know the boy's name? No. What happens to the boy? Go with him. See what happens. Someone he knows is a prisoner. A friend? A relative? I believe it's his father. Her answers were brief. Are you the boy? I'm not sure. Do you know how he feels about his father being in prison? Yes, he's very afraid. Afraid they might kill him. What has his father done? He has stolen something from the soldiers, some papers or something. The boy doesn't understand completely? No. He might never see his father again. Can he get to see his father at all? No. Do they know for how long his father will be in the prison, or if he will live? No, she answered. Her voice quavered. She was very upset, very sad. She was not providing much detail, yet she was visibly agitated by the events she was witnessing and experiencing. You can feel what the boy is feeling, I went on. That kind of fear and anxiety, do you feel it? Yes. Again, she was silent. What happens? Go ahead in time now. I know it's hard. Go ahead in time. Something happens. His father is executed. How does he feel now? It was for something he never did, but they execute people for no reason at all. The boy must be very upset about this. I don't believe he understands fully what has happened. Does he have other people to turn to? Yes. But his life will be very hard. What becomes of the boy? I don't know. He will probably die. She sounded so sad. She was again silent, then seemed to be looking around. What are you seeing? I see a hand closing around something white. I don't know what it is. She fell silent again, and minutes passed. What else do you see? I asked. Nothing. Darkness. She had either died or somehow disconnected from the sad boy who lived in the Ukraine more than 200 years ago. Have you left the boy? Yes, she whispered. She was resting. What did you learn from that lifetime? Why was it important? People cannot be judged hastily. You have to be fair with someone. Many lives were ruined by being hasty in our judgments. The boy's life was short and hard because of that judgment against his father. Yes. She was silent again. Are you seeing something else now? Do you hear anything? No. Again, there was the brief answer and then silence. For some reason, this brief lifetime had been particularly grueling. I gave her instructions to rest. Rest. Feel peacefulness. Your body is healing itself. Your soul is resting. Are you feeling better? Rested? It was difficult for the little boy, very hard, but now you're resting again. Excuse me. Your mind can take you to other places, other times, other memories. Are you resting? Yes. I decided to pursue the dream fragment about the burning house, her father's unconcerned dawdling, and his sending her back into the conflagration in order to retrieve something of his. I have a question now about the dream you had with your father. You can remember it now. It's safe. You're in a deep trance. Do you remember? Yes. You went back into the house to get something. Do you remember that? Yes. It was a metal box. What was in it that he wanted so badly to send you back into the burning house? His stamps and his coins that he saves. She answered. Her detailed recollection of the dream content under hypnosis contrasted dramatically with her sketchy recall while awake. Hypnosis was a powerful tool, not only providing access to the most remote, hidden areas of the mind, but also allowing a much more detailed memory. Were his stamps and coins very important to him? Yes. But to risk your life to go back into a burning house just for stamps and coins? She cut me off. He didn't think he was risking it. He thought it was safe? Yes. Then why didn't he go back instead of you? Because he thought I could go faster. I see. Was there a risk to you though? Yes, but he didn't realize that. Was there more meaning to the dream for you about your relationship with your father? Excuse me. I don't know. He didn't seem to be in much of a hurry to get out of the burning house. No. Why was he so leisurely? You were fast, you saw the danger. Because he tries to hide from things. I seized this moment to interpret part of the dream. Yes, it's an old pattern of his, and you do things for him like fetch in the box. I hope he can learn from you. I have a feeling that the fire represents time running out, that you realize the danger and that he doesn't. While he dawdles and sends you back for material objects, you know much more and have much to teach him, but he doesn't seem to want to learn. No, she agreed, he doesn't. That's how I see the dream, but you can't force him. Only he can realize this. Yes, she agreed, and her voice became deep and husky. Hey, and that's important. That goes right along with what my voice is doing right now. This, I'm supposed to get my allergy shots this morning, and I thought, oh, I could fit it in before going to the VA. Nah, I couldn't. It is unimportant that our bodies get burned in fires if we don't need them. A master spirit had shed an entirely different perspective on the dream. I was surprised at the sudden entrance, and I could only parrot back the thought. And just in case you're wondering, I could only get them on Thursdays. So, because the doctor that they're using, not my doctor, but another one, is not approved by the VA yet. So the other place I normally go to, where they both work at, because that doctor's new, they can do it Monday through Friday. So anyway, and I don't know why that other dude, he can't sign off on it for that location. I think he's only approved for the Thursday location to sign off. So I'm not really understanding how that works, but that's the government for you, right? Anyway, we don't need our bodies. No, we go through so many stages when we're here. We shed a baby body, go into from child to an adult, and adult into old age. Why shouldn't we go one step beyond and shed the adult body and go into a spiritual plane? That is what we do. We don't just stop growing, we continue to grow. When we get to the spiritual plane, we keep growing there too. We go through different stages of development. When we arrive, we're burned out. We have to go through a renewal stage, a learning stage, and a stage of decision. We decide when we want to return, where, and for what reasons. Some choose not to come back. They choose to go on to another stage of development, and they stay in spirit form. Some for longer than others before they return. It is all growth and learning, continuous growth. Our body is just a vehicle for us while we're here. It is our soul and our spirit. It is our soul and our spirit that lasts forever. Yeah. I did not recognize the voice or style a quote-unquote new master was speaking. And speaking of important knowledge, I wanted to know more about these spiritual realms. Is learning in the physical state faster? Are there reasons that people don't all stay in the spiritual state? No, learning in the spiritual state is much faster, far accelerated from that in the physical state. But we choose what we need to learn. If we need to come back to work through a relationship, we come back. If we are finished with that, we go on. In spiritual form, you can always contact those that are in physical state if you choose to, but only if there is importance there. If you have to tell them something that they must know. How do you make contact? How does the message come through? To my surprise, Catherine answered. Her whisper was faster and firmer. Sometimes you can appear before that person and look the same way you did when you were here. Other times you just make a mental contact. Sometimes the messages are cryptic, but most often the person knows what it pertains to. They understand. It's mind-to-mind contact, which is really cool once you experience that. And I'm sure you've experienced it before and you kind of wrote it off, you know. Either that or you already know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I spoke to Catherine. The knowledge that you have now, this information, this wisdom, which is very important, why is it not accessible to you when you are awakened in the physical state? I guess I wouldn't understand it. I'm not capable of understanding it. Then perhaps I can teach you to understand it so that it doesn't frighten you and so that you learn. Yes. When you hear the voices of the masters, they say things similar to what you are telling me now. You must share a great deal of information. I was intrigued at the wisdom she possessed when she was in this state. Yes, she replied simply. And this comes from your own mind? But they have put it there. So she gave credit to the masters. Yes, I acknowledged. How do I best communicate it back to you so that you grow and lose your fears? You have already done that, she answered softly. She was right. Her fears were nearly gone. Once the hypnotic regressions had begun, her clinical progress had been incredibly rapid. What lessons do you need to learn now? What is the most important thing you can learn during this lifetime so that you can continue to grow and prosper? Trust, she answered quickly. She had known what her principal task was. Trust? I repeated, surprised by the quickness of her retort. Yes, I must learn to have faith, but also to trust people. I don't. I think everybody is trying to do evil to me. That makes me stay away from people in situations that I probably shouldn't stay away from. It's keeping me with other people that I should break away from. Her insight was tremendous when she was in this superconscious state. She knew her weaknesses and her strengths. She knew the areas that needed attention and work, and she knew what to do to improve matters. The only problem was that these insights needed to reach her conscious mind and needed to be applied to her awakened life. Superconscious insight was fascinating, but by itself, it was not enough to transform her life. Who are these people to break away from? I asked. She paused. I'm afraid of Becky. I'm afraid of Stuart. That somehow harm will come to me from them. Can you break away from that? Not completely, but from some of their ideas, yes. Stuart is trying to keep me in prison, and he is succeeding. He knows that I'm afraid. He knows I'm afraid to be away from him, and he uses that knowledge to keep me with him. And Becky? She's constantly trying to break down my faith in the people that I have faith in. When I see good, she sees evil. And she tries to plant those seeds in my mind. I'm learning to trust people. I should trust. But she fills me with doubts about them, and that's her problem. I can't let her make me think her way. In her superconscious state, Catherine was able to pinpoint major character flaws of both Becky and Stuart. The hypnotized Catherine could make an excellent psychiatrist, empathetic and unerringly intuitive. The awake Catherine did not possess these attributes. It was my task to bridge the gulf. Her dramatic clinical improvement meant that some of this was seeping through. I attempted more bridge building. Who can you trust? I asked. Think about it. Who are the people you can trust and learn from and get closer to? Who are they? I can trust you, she whispered. I knew this, but I knew she needed to trust people in her everyday life even more. Yes, you can. You're close to me, but you must get closer to other people in your life too. People who can be with you more than I can. I wanted her to be complete and independent, not dependent on me. I can trust my sister. I don't know the others. I can trust Stuart, but only to a certain extent. He does care about me, but he's confused. In his confusion, he unknowingly is doing me harm. Yes, it is true. Is there another man that you can trust? I can trust Robert, she answered. He was another physician in the hospital. They were good friends. Yes. Maybe there is still more for you to meet in the future. Yes, she conceded. The idea of future knowledge was distractingly intriguing. She had been so accurate about the past. She, through the masters, had known specific secret facts. Could they also know facts from the future? If so, could we share this foreknowledge? 1,000 questions burst into my mind. When you find contact with your superconscious mind, like now, and have this wisdom, do you also develop abilities in the psychic realm? Is it possible for you to look into the future? We have done much in the past. That is possible, she conceded, but I see nothing now. It is possible? I echoed. I believe so. Can you do this without being frightened? Can you go into the future and obtain information of a neutral sort that will not be frightening to you? Can you see the future? Her answer was swift. I don't see that. They will not allow it. I knew she meant the masters. Till we meet again. Love you, minute.